Hi, this is Laura with Potpourri of Life. I am here to share with you the information that I have accumulated in reference to molasses. Now, and the reason, as I mentioned before, the reason that I use it, there are some health benefits. And why I started using it, I'm trying to get my notes in order here. Why I started using it was because I was listening and I was reading different things about molasses, and that one of the benefits was hair health. Well, as you get older and your hormone levels change and all this other stuff, some of us have issues with our hair thinning or losing, and I was having that problem. And I talked to the doctors who did my hormone replacement, the testing, and then I finally went and saw an endocrinologist, and I was off one of my compound meds, but I was still having high levels. So we took a look at another blood thing, and we still found that I had high testosterone. And he asked me, he reviewed my supplements that I take. And one of the supplements, and I don't take very many, but one of the supplements I was taking was biotin. And I was taking quite a bit. And I was taking that for my hair, for my skin, all the good things that biotin's good for. And this is kind of a lesson, eye-opener for any of us that take supplements for a reason. And I know doctors will recommend biotin. Hairdressers will recommend biotin. But we need to stop and think about how much do you need, or do you really need it? Is there something else going on? And that's why it's important to understand the root causes of what our bodies are going through instead of trying to just treat it with whatever. And it was years ago. I was a surgical tech at the time, and one of my coworkers said, "Why don't you take this?" Because we were talking about different stuff with our skin and all that, and I said, "Never heard of it." And that's when I started taking it. And that was when I didn't ask my doctor at the time if she thought it was appropriate for me. She would have probably approved it, but maybe not. Maybe she would have given me some insight. We don't know. And so I started it for that. The other reason, the main reason that I decided using molasses is because recently, a year ago, I was diagnosed with osteoporosis. It doesn't have to destroy your life. But I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding, because 4 years prior, I was told that I had osteopenia, and my doctors all know that I eat well. I try to exercise and all that. And yet last year came back as positive for osteoporosis. I said, oh my. And I don't think it's high levels. I don't have my test result in front of me. But it was eye-opening, because that meant that I needed to do something proactive to reverse it. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to get my exercise back up. And I do think that part of the reason, my responsibility, is the chaos in the world really brought me down. So I wasn't doing all the exercise that I needed. Even though I was eating healthy, there were some things that I was consuming that really wasn't helping my bones either. So I decided I'm going to do something different. I'm going to make a change. So, that being said, now, one of the things I did learn when I went for my first test last year was I was told that coffee can cause it. And I had just started drinking coffee like a few weeks prior. And so the tech said, because she has her typical questions that she needs to ask, and she goes, and do you drink coffee? Now, I'm not one to lie to my providers, but she was a tech, right? No disrespect to techs, please understand that. I said, no. What would coffee do? I played the innocent person, but truly, I'd only started drinking it 2 weeks prior because I was so tired, and I was just trying. I asked my husband, do you have anything of a coffee nature that has chocolate in it? And he did, so that's what I started, and it was so good. And I put some of my oat milk in it, and it was so good. And so I thought, I'm not going to stop this. I still fell asleep 2 hours later, but it wasn't like me getting up and going back to bed. And that's what was happening. So that being said, what I want to share with you is the things that I've learned about the magnesium that is in molasses. But first, there are 3 types of molasses. There is a light molasses, which is the first boiling. It's the result of the first boiling from the sugar cane. And molasses is made from sugar cane and beet cane. So it's the first process. Dark molasses comes from the second boiling. And the type I use comes from the third boiling. Now, the sweeter one, the first one, is a sweeter flavor. So people will use it in baking. They will use it in sweets, like making cookies and pies and stuff like that. You might even put it in your yogurt. Then you have the next one, which people might use in baked beans and that type of food. But then they have this other kind. This is the kind I use. I use Grandma's molasses. I use the original. It's unsulfured. Of course, it's the gold standard from 1890. Now, there's a lot of nutrients in this. And I think I shared it in my video last night when I made the molasses cookies. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. And while you're at it, if you haven't subscribed yet and you like what you're hearing and stuff, be sure to subscribe, like, comment. I'm all for comments as long as they're positive. And I do take it, like if you have information that I don't know, I'm okay with hearing that. All I ask is to be kind and not rude to me or to anybody else, or else, sorry, I gotta let you go. I'm not taking toxic people in my life. All right, so we have the different molasses. Now, what's sulfured and what's not sulfured? So the unsulfured means that we didn't put any sulfur dioxide in it. Sulfur dioxide is something that they add into molasses as a preservative. Now, I'm not one for additives. If you haven't figured that out, you now know. That doesn't mean that we don't consume foods that might have it in it. It's just we try to avoid them as much as possible. And so they do that. Now, where did I say? The unsulfured means the extracted molasses is treated with sulfur dioxide to preserve it. This can leave a chemical taste. Now, if it's made from pure, fresh sugarcane, they don't need that as a preservative because molasses is naturally, it's like honey and maple syrup. You don't need a preservative. So, but the black strap that I use is thick and it's not as sweet as the first boiling or the second boiling. Now, one might think, well, I'm going to try to move a little bit so you can see me without the sun. I decided to sit under the pagoda today because it was just maybe you get a better lighting from me. So some people don't like this molasses. I do. And it could be as a result of I don't eat a lot of sugars. So for me, this is a really nice sweetener. So I put it in my coffee. If I don't have 2 cups, I will have maybe a tablespoon later on in the day. But it depends on other factors too. So as I mentioned, it's made with ripe sugar cane. And if it's not fresh and ripe, that's when they put the preservatives in it. Now, there are a bunch of health benefits, but I want to go over the vitamins that are in it. And I have my screen up and I'm going to compare molasses to sugar. So molasses has, I get my glasses to work right, 1,464 milligrams of potassium, whereas sugar only has 2 milligrams. Manganese is 1.53, whereas sugar has 0.0004 milligrams. Calcium, 205 milligrams versus 1 milligram in sugar. That's another reason why I'm taking this. 0.72 milligrams of iron versus 0.05 in sugar. 0.487 milligrams of copper, 0.007 in sugar. 17.8 UG, I don't know what that means, sorry I didn't look it up, selenium, and selenium is really very beneficial, and I'll share a lot of the benefits. 0.6 in sugar. Vitamin B6, 0.67 milligrams in molasses, 0.0 in sugar. 13.3 milligrams of choline, 0 in sugar, and 242 milligrams of magnesium versus 0 in sugar. Why is this important? Well, when they're extracting the molasses and the sugar that's left, the sugar that's left doesn't have all these wonderful minerals in it. Now, I'm not here to tell you not to have sugar. I do recommend organic sugar, but you know what? I'm not the sugar police. I don't judge people based on what they choose or what they can afford. So I'm very well aware of, that kind of thing. But why I'm doing this is I was sitting back and I was having, because one of the things that's very discouraging is with the hormone imbalance that I've been dealing with, and my doctors have been working wonderfully with me. We're trying to get them in line. So I was losing my hair. My hair was thinning out and all of that. So about 6 months ago, I started, maybe longer, I started with some herbs that were helping. They definitely have helped. 2 months ago, I started with the molasses. And I don't know if you can see it. You don't know what I look like before. But it's doing better. Will it continue? I don't know. But I'm very, very hopeful. And so I'm going to try to remain positive and optimistic about this. So it helps with our hair and skin health and our teeth. Our teeth are part of the same system for health, and we want to keep our teeth healthy. The other reason was the osteoporosis. Now, I knew better than to let it get me down. Even though I was diagnosed during a time when life was falling apart, I did not handle these last 2 years of the chaotic mess that we have dealt with. And the chaotic mess is the conflict between people, between science, between this and between that. And I had to stop listening. And I still do read stuff. That comes through. I get them through my emails. But now I choose what I want to read and how much I want to read, because it's very important for us to be informed. But it's not healthy to listen to what may not be true. So we have to pick and choose there. So I finally sat back and said, ooh, this might help with the osteoporosis, and it might help with my hair. Okay, so if I'm not exercising and eating right, osteoporosis can go from osteopenia, which it did, to osteoporosis. So I had to pick up on my exercise. I had to make sure, the foods that I consume were doing fine. I get plenty of vitamin D outside. Vitamin D is important too. We don't have it in molasses. But you need calcium and vitamin D. And you can get these things naturally. You don't need a pill. Yet some people, they might prefer a supplement. And that's a personal choice. So, what do these supplements provide? So the calcium provides bone and teeth health, helps with muscle aches, the twitching, I get that with Lyme disease, cramps, spasms. That's another thing I experience for a couple of reasons. Arthritis, blood pressure. It can help with blood pressure. I can't even think of it now. You know what I mean. Osteoporosis. Gum disease, insomnia, and cramps. And do you know, for the last 2 months, it took a couple weeks, I have been sleeping far better, unless I decide to stay up late and make cookies like I did last night. I still slept well. I just got up later than I wanted to. Let's see. Magnesium. It's anti-inflammatory. It combats depression. Oh my gosh, I have improved. It has energy. It helps with the protein formation from the amino acids. helps with the muscle movements. It helps with relaxation and your nervous system. And B vitamins, the choline. This is a supplement I never heard of, but that helps with your nerve function and your brain health. Selenium is antioxidant. It decreases your oxidative stress. It helps with your thyroid and your heart health and many other things. Copper helps with the anemia, low body temp, brittle bones. Do you see where molasses can be helpful with osteoporosis? Again, and it notes that the copper helps with this. Dilated veins, low white blood cell counts. Iron for your stamina, athletic performance, immune system, muscle endurance, so much. Manganese, sorry, I get the two mixed up when I read them quick. That helps with your brain function and your nervous system and a few other things. The potassium, it regulates your fluid and regulates muscle contractions. I want to say something about antioxidants. It seems like it's a fad word, but it's not. Antioxidants, that's the oxidative stress that they talked about. It's when we put our bodies in too much stress. And maybe I should do a video on that. But this will help boost the immune system, and it has the potential to lower certain cancers. Now, you heard me say not all cancers. And also, I need to reiterate, I am not a doctor. I am not here to diagnose. I'm not here to tell you what you should do. I'm here to share with you some information that I have learned and also share with you the benefits I have gained by using the molasses. All right. Now, the health benefits, as we said, full of vitamins and minerals, and they build and maintain strong bones. I don't care what age you are. Put a little bit of molasses in the cereal. Put them in, whatever. I like it in my coffee, sorry. Helps treat high cholesterol and maintain heart health. Enhance mental focus, energy, mood, and brain function. It has helped me. I know I get my words twisted up a little bit and have a little bit of brain fog, but you know what? I'm doing so much better. Not just because of this, but because I keep working towards being better with the things I deal with. Hair growth, hair health, stimulates, this is important, stimulates the digestion, and it softens your stool. I know, a topic we all want to talk about. But what it does is it prevents constipation. But you don't want to take a lot because you don't want to have it running out. You want it to be soft and normal. Don't ask me what normal is. Talk to your doctor. That's his job or her job. But what I have to be careful with is if I use aloe vera water, I can't have 2 tablespoons of this the next day because I might have the aloe vera water at night if I have heartburn or something else. Or if I have an infection, I'll take aloe vera water. And so that's what I use. And I also put aloe vera, the regular gel, on wounds and stuff too. So I try to be very careful so that bowels are normal. The best part about keeping your bowels normal is it helps prevent any, for those of you who have spasms in your abdomen or anything like that, you want your body not to be constipated because it can cause retention, and it can also cause the spasms to be worse. Doesn't mean it's going to resolve those health concerns. No, but it means you're making steps in the right direction to better help yourself. Now, I know that there's drugs out there that can solve a bunch of, issues that we all deal with. Maybe not all the same, but different. But if we can take something that is natural that will help, I don't know, I kind of think I like that. I'd rather do this than take a pharmaceutical med. I need to clarify, there are some good pharmaceutical meds out there, and I take them when I need them. But I'm not prone to want to be on whatever is shown on a TV screen. And we don't watch TV, so I don't even have to be exposed to that. But I've heard of different new stuff that's out there, and so I have to go and run and look and research it. I'm like, wow. So those with menstrual cramps, this will help you as well. And one more thing before I go on. Helps with the arthritis, but also it's a blood sugar stabilizer. So those with diabetes, this can help with that. Now, because I'm not a doctor, because I am somebody who loves to research, I loved my nutrition class. I love a variety of classes I've taken. I've learned so much. And every time I pick something up, if it's not new, I'll just say, okay, what are the benefits of this? What more can I do with this? That's me. I'm just a curious by nature. And I kind of like it. It makes me very excited. And then I can tell my husband, look at what this can do for you. And I don't know if I shared here, my husband takes 1 tablespoon of this a day. And it does help provide energy, get him going in the morning. The wind is moving my hair everywhere. And I do it because I like that energy. I can't take it at night because I won't be able to sleep. Whereas it can calm some people down. Sort of like coffee. Coffee settles things down for me. It helps me sleep. It takes care of some of the cramping I get. And then I put a heat pack on. But I can't use this to help it. I just can't, because then I'm wide awake. And it's like coffee. Coffee affects everybody differently. One of my daughters and I, we can drink coffee up until we go to bed. Now, I don't drink more than 2 cups of coffee right now. I'm trying to keep it to 1. But it doesn't bother us in terms of sleep. We can still sleep. We can still take a nap if we're able. But other people, the coffee keeps them going. There are some health benefits to coffee, but I think with all things that are good, there can be some negatives too. So I don't want to get too far on a tangent. Plus, I did try doing this video a little bit ago, and then my system didn't like it for some reason, so it didn't save it properly. But I think that if you take time to research this, or even consider just a small bottle. Now, I'm not promoting grandmas. I'm not getting anything from this. I make no money off this. I am just sharing this because, first, I see the benefits that I'm obtaining from it. I don't think it's going to resolve everything, but it's in the right step. And that's what I think. I mean, a lot of people are worried about medicines they're not going to find, or, because as the economy changes and we can't find things on the shelves. And some people have said, well, what about medications? And you know what? That is a concern. And one of my medications that I get when I get an infection, I ask that question right out with my doctor. What do I do? And some of those things we have to think about is because some medications are not made here in the United States. So we get them from overseas. But that being said, if we can avoid medications, then we're doing our body good. That does not mean that you shouldn't use them when they're necessary. So you do what's right for you. Have a conversation with your physician. I realize that a lot of people are disappointed in the healthcare system. So am I. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be having healthy conversations with those that we have a relationship with. If you don't have a relationship and they talk down to you, sorry, time to let them go. Because our health matters. We shouldn't feel stressed when we see our physicians. We should feel like they're going to help us. But in saying that, you need to be upfront with them. Other things that, like, this will be something I will share and say, this is what I'm doing, and it seems to be helping. They want to hear that. It may not go on my supplement list, but when you're having a conversation with your physician, it's really good to let them know the different things that you're doing. So I'm not going to talk much longer. I'm hoping this video goes well. Again, if you haven't subscribed and you desire to, please hit the subscribe button. If you like this video and you felt that it was helpful, please like it and comment. And if you have questions, I'm not sure I can answer, but I will try. So I hope you have a wonderful day. The heat's coming back out again, so hopefully I'll be able to get some other stuff done. But I hope you are well. I hope you find a reason to smile. God bless.